angels will and they'll hold us in their arms. When our words of stone are ashes and we both passed on, let forever mean forever and carry on.
Good afternoon. So, we are using again, are attempting to use the new YouTube Studio Beta. That is the only way that I can choose the option as to whether or not our videos are targeted for children or not. And we all know how much I just love going by the rules. So I figured it would be best if we at least did this much. And the only reason why is because there's a lot of money in fines that a channel faces. Now, I did set the channel itself as being absolutely not for kids, but I want to cover all my bases because I'll tell you what, I don't trust what they're up to. I don't trust what they're up to. Because if they could use a little loophole like that to go after channels like ours, to be able to just slam us with a fine, I'll tell you what, I know as far as we're concerned, all it would take would be one of those fines. One of those fines, and that would be the end of it. So, just to be safe, I'm going to go with the Studio Beta, where I can choose that option that this channel, these videos are not in any way targeted for children, and we'll try that. We'll see where it leads. So, everything, I guess, appears to be going okay. Getting the typical warnings about my bitrate dropping down a little bit, but that's kind of normal. It bounces back and forth. It happens. I've got a computer that's like going on like 7 years or so old, and I'm actually pretty impressed that it's actually able to do what we're doing with it. So, not bad. One of these years, I'll win the lottery and build a new rig. Well, yeah, we do got to kind of play it first, but yeah. No, that's about between $800 and $1,000 bill right there to build a new computer suitable to doing this. But I can do it piece by piece. The problem is building up the cash to get the first pieces, because like the processor's just over $300 for the one that I would use. So, it is what it is. Maybe someday, but I'm not sweating it. So, anyway, I do have a topic that I do want to discuss today. It comes from the Survival Prepping for Normal People's Patreon video that he put out this morning. And he had a good topic, and it got my gears turning with what he had to say. And he's talking about Civil War II, or as I like to call it, Civil War 2.0. And, I think I've got a little bit more to add to it than what he had. A little more of the pieces for the old puzzle. So, very interesting, very interesting. So we shall get to that here momentarily. As far as any updates, don't know of any. Still kicking. So not much excitement. I binge watched Star Trek. Discovery. Yeah, Star Trek Discovery season 1 over the weekend. So I was kind of predisposed with that over the weekend. So I've watched all of season 1. Just finished up the last episode of season 1, maybe a couple hours or so before the show, and I have season 2 to go. So. Not bad. I have to say, early on, I was pretty disappointed because the Klingons look really weird in comparison to what I recall Klingons looking like. So, but other than that, I mean, Yeah, I mean, I binge watched it, so that speaks for something. I normally can't make it very far into any types of TV series, or I don't know. Most of them are just so lame it's unreal, but this isn't bad. Not bad. Anyway, let me run through the normal stuff, then we'll talk about Civil War 2.0. I think it's going to be a very interesting topic, and then we'll go from there. I've got a lot of news headlines to share with you as well. So, let me go ahead and I'll get started out with this. Anybody that's been to the website here recently, and I'll refresh to see if a second one pops up or not. Anybody that's been to the website here in the past week or so and scrolled down a little bit, you notice we're running Google Ads now. No big deal. But in light of transparency, I figured that I will include that to showing you all of the riches that we are making from Google AdSense, which so far is goose eggs. Because really the only way you make anything from Google Ads is if either you have a ton of visitors that come to the site. I mean, you get a little bit just for a visit on the site. But the other main way is if somebody clicks that ad. And I am not going to click that ad because if I do, I'll get in trouble. So if I click my own ads, yeah, they'll punish me. Been there, done that. And I didn't click my own ad either, damn it. I just hosted my own website here at home, and I think they thought I was clicking my ads, but I wasn't. So now that we're not hosting it here at home with the same IP that I'm coming from, I feel safe to put them back up there. So long way if we ever decided to remonetize the channel, we got a long way to go. So a very long way to go. So we're setting it somewhere over 1,800 hours, which I have no idea how they get their number. A public view time, which we should have way more than that. But who am I going to argue with, and how am I going to argue with them, right? So, not saying that I want to remonetize the channel, but I kind of would like to have that option open. There's reasons why. And it's not money, believe it or not. But anyway, so that's what's up, and you will see various ads through on the website. Not a big deal. All right, let me click that off. Pardon me. Amazon Associate, we're up to $25.74. So, looks like there was another item ordered, I guess, yesterday. I'm assuming that has to ship yet. So, I don't know. Or it could have shipped today. I wouldn't know that until tomorrow. So, anyway, it is what it is. I appreciate all of you for participating in that. It really does truly help. It truly does. For those that don't know, we are an Amazon affiliate. We've got a link in our description of our videos, as well as at the watchmannews.com at the top right. If you shop on Amazon, if you so choose, you can click that link to go to Amazon, and when you make your purchase, it doesn't cost you anything more, and it throws a little our way. Amazon store, pretty much the same thing, just a store that's got several categories, several items in those categories. If you choose to buy one, doesn't cost you anything more, throws a little our way. So, got a Teespring store, which I still need to get that sale set up. That Teespring store, the best way to see what different designs we have is just go to the watchmannews.com. Scroll down on the home page, you'll see the different designs. Right now we have 4. It's not just shirts, there's all kinds of stuff there. I just show shirts for the image here for you to click. When you click on it, it takes you to another page that, if it would load up for me, has literally just a ton of different stuff. I think this design has like 44 different items you can get. So everything from socks, leggings, cups, tote bags, whatever. So anyway, and that sale, by the way, when I get that set up, I believe that's going to be from November 29th through December 2nd, and it will be a 30% off sale. The code I know will be Cyber30, but I got to get that set up yet. Not a big deal, just haven't done it. I've still got plenty of time to get that done. Let's see, that covers that. The other way you can support, if you so choose, is our PayPal donate link. That's also in the description of the video, as well as right there in our main menu at thewatchmannews.com. When you click that, it just takes you to PayPal, and you don't have to have a PayPal account. You can just do it as a guest with a debit or a credit card. But I always let people know it does say Transforming Disabilities up top, and it will say Purpose the Watchman News donation. That way you know you're in the right place. So, and I think we're good to go on that again on PayPal. When was that? Was that 2 weeks ago, or close to 2 weeks ago? On the 11th. Okay, it was the 11th. Jen got an email that there was a charge to her account for like $546 and some odd cents, I believe. A payment to Verizon Wireless. We don't have Verizon Wireless yet, but the thing of it is, and we still won't have it, but Jen's going to be getting a phone that I do believe is through Verizon, but has nothing to do with this. Anyway, so that was quite of a punch in the gut, right? And so we contacted PayPal. We let them know, hey, look, this isn't our charge. And so they got right on it. They canceled her card because it was done with her PayPal debit card. So they canceled her card, sent her a new one on the way, and so it kind of came right down to the wire, because we contacted them over the weekend because we noticed that the charge in PayPal went from pending to completed. Well, meaning that there was no money in PayPal. We knew that money was going to come out of her bank account once it hit, which would be sometime today. And so we were sweating. So we called up PayPal, we talked to them, and they said, well, we'll give you a provisional payment for that amount. That way you can put that money into your bank account, hopefully in time, that it will catch it when it hits. This is how awesome PayPal is. So that's what they did. They put the entire amount in the PayPal account. However, it didn't show up in the PayPal account until this morning. And so we rushed as quick as we could. We instant transferred the money out of PayPal into her bank account, and I kid you not, it was less than 30 minutes, probably less than 20 minutes. I mean, it was shortly after. It was very shortly after Jen checked the bank account, and sure enough, that PayPal charge hit. So, I mean, literally in the nick of time, she was able to save from having overdraft fees and all of that nonsense associated with that. So I'm telling you, PayPal is incredible. PayPal is incredible. So that's why we use them. That's exactly why. I mean, they covered it. And then shortly after that, she got another email saying that the case has been closed, that it has been ruled in her favor. And so it's done. Jen doesn't have to worry about that $546. I'm assuming that their investigation is still ongoing. And from my understanding, as soon as they conclude the investigation and have the name and all the other information of the person that did this, they are going to forward that information to Jen so Jen can press criminal charges against the individual. So that's where we're at on that. And again, PayPal is incredible. And I would say this about whether it's PayPal or any type of a bank account, a lot of it depends on your track record. Okay? If you've got a bad track record, if you're always writing bad checks, if you're always this, that, and the other thing, they're probably not going to stand up for you quite like that. But Jen's track record with PayPal and the bank are exemplary. I mean, beautiful. She, we barely ever have money to speak of in there, but she doesn't overdraw. She uses her accounts wisely. So anyway, just kind of giving you an update on that, because I'm pretty sure I mentioned it last week when that happened. So anyway, I think that pretty well covers it. Oh, I found motors, by the way. I actually put them on the priority list so I wouldn't lose them. They finally put up motors for the drone on on Amazon. So not too bad either. $16.99 for 2 of them. So after we get this stuff squared away with the grow tent, I've still got the light to go, the filtration system and all that good stuff. Once we get that squared away, hopefully they've got some of these motors in stock for the drone, so I can get I actually want to get 2 sets of them just to put back for parts. But at least now Amazon is starting to carry the motors for the drone, so that is incredible. Yesterday, I think it was, I almost cried again because they ran another one of those sales on the light, and it was like $67 and some odd cents on the sale. But when they do it, it's only for like 3-4 hours or something like that. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, and if anybody wants to see what we're working on, what we're not actually honestly working on Oreos, but hey, if you want to send Jen some Oreos, that's why they're there. But these are the different things that we're working on with the money that we make, whether it be donations or what we do with the merchandise or whatever the case may be. These are the items that we are working on. So anyway, that's found on the Amazon priority list button. Anyway, now that I'm through all that good stuff, let's talk about Civil War 2.0 after I have a sip of coffee. Yummy, yummy, yummy. So here's the thing. Every bone in my body is feeling this. It truly is. And I don't think it's just me. Because, yeah, I want this. Sorry, I do. I'm just being honest with you. We need a couple of things. We definitely need a refresh in this country. Without a doubt, we need that refresh. But we also need the tree of liberty to be watered. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a fact. Folks, this country, as it stands, is going to continue to go downhill. And there is absolutely nothing, not somebody who excites us to the point that we get out to the voting booth and vote. Not anybody is going to prevent this. I'm telling you, it's not. It's not even written in prophecy to happen that way. So we just have to accept the fact that until that tree of liberty gets watered again, it's all downhill. So that is what I look at when I see the coming turmoil. I don't think it's just me. I don't think it's just a want for these changes. I think I'm actually feeling these things. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. Many people, probably many of you, feel it coming too. And the interesting thing is, they're reporting on this across so many different spectrums. It's unreal. You know, red team media is reporting it, the blue team media is reporting it. You know, others that really are trying at least to be independent are reporting on it. Everybody's reporting on it. Is it programming? I don't think so. I truly don't think so. I think people are at their wits' end. I think, to be honest, that the people are more upset at the government than what they are their political counterparts. However, the government uses their cheerleaders to try to incite and try to push the idea that what ails the government is the political counterpart, which isn't true, because behind the doors they're working together, plain and simple. And I've said it time and time and time again. The left creates a nanny state. Well, a nanny state is useless without a police state. enter red team. Okay? Got to have both the nanny state and the police state in order to have the type of control that they're trying to gain. They're working together. But when it comes down to all of this information and these articles, like I said, Survival Prepping for Normal People did a video on his Patreon, and he was talking about how, well, they had issues. He had issues with his internet line was broke. His internet was down because they were doing some digging or something across the street and hit a fiber optic line or something or another and cut his internet. And so he continued how he could, doing what he does. And I am assuming that he used his phone internet to be able to put up a video or two, in which, during those videos, he spoke about the issue. And I guess around at home, he had talked about, looking into other internet providers and whatnot. Well, then all of a sudden, he started getting a barrage of phone calls from internet providers. Now, I'm sure many of you have spoke about something in your home, just in private, to somebody else that lives with you, and gone on some form of social media or whatever, and seen ads pop up for that particular type of item without ever entering a keystroke online at all. I know it's happened to me so many times it's unreal. This, I firmly believe, and so does Kyle, with Survival Prepping for Normal People. This is how they're getting that data. But I've got one more step for you. Many times in the not-so-distant past, Facebook has been caught playing psychological games with the people to see their reactions, to gauge their reactions. Well, what this tells me is that they have the ability to be able to, at a moment's notice, tell our mood. Now, can you imagine having the ability to do that to everybody in the nation that has a smartphone? Could you imagine? So I think that the data that the media is reporting on when they're talking about this coming civil war is sound. I think it's sound data, and I think they're getting it from sound places. I can't urge people enough to be ready for this, because I think it's coming no matter what. I don't think it matters who wins the election. I don't think it matters, because the problem isn't the Democrats or the Republicans. The problem is both of them. And nobody is getting satisfaction in this country. Even though Donald Trump is president right now, guess what? Red Team's not getting satisfaction. The only members of Red Team that are getting satisfaction are the ones that are too stupid and blind to see what's going on. Sorry, I'm not going to be politically correct about this. Wake up, grow up, face reality. Our economy's not any better. Job market's not any better. And this is all verifiable facts down to the number. Down to the number. Why are we figuring unemployment by how many people are enrolled in unemployment programs through the state? That's not a correct way to figure unemployment. How about we take a look at how many people are in the workforce? How come we don't do it that way, from the opposite side? Right? Because they want to be able to sway those numbers however they want, which is easily done by getting the number from the state. Because, see, you can't just collect unemployment forever, right? That's a limited time deal. And once you run out of unemployment and you're no longer eligible for the unemployment benefit program, guess what? You certainly must be employed, right? That's your only options. If you're not employed, you're collecting unemployment, right? Ain't that how it works? Clearly it's not. Clearly it's not. So that's how that number's a lie. If our economy was booming so well, then how come our national debt is rising so fast? Shouldn't it be slowing? At least slowing, if not going down. But it's not. It's speeding up at an incredible rate. It's a lie. So see, in reality, just because red teams in the White House, they're still not being satisfied. And more Republicans are catching on to this. They really truly are. They're seeing so many things, so many lies. It's getting hard to excuse them. The gun control, the lack of Hillary in cuffs, the no progress, no real progress on a wall. Got nowhere. Got nowhere. Blue team's not going to do any better. They're just not. Just the way it is. It is not going to get better until that tree of liberty is watered with the blood of patriots and tyrants. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Our forefathers were a lot smarter than we could ever imagine. And they knew this. They knew this. And I think when they talked about these things, I think part of it was not just a warning of what to make sure not to let into our country, like partisan government, like Democrats and Republicans. We should have never allowed that to even start. They didn't have Democrats and Republicans in the founders' days, okay? In fact, they rejected any notion of something like that. They were completely against that. Just like capitalism. They were completely against any ism at all. They believed in free trade. That means if you have a product and I want to buy it, guess what? Nobody's business. Now it doesn't matter if that was a lamp, a chair, crack cocaine, or whatever the fuck it was. It didn't matter. Free trade. And nobody had the right to step in the middle, tax, permit, regulate, or prevent that sale from going through. Free trade. See, because free trade, true free trade, is the only type of trade that can't be corrupted. But it doesn't matter if you have capitalism or communism or any other ism, they all end up in the same place. Nothing but a big ball of corrupted trash. Enter the USA today. That's why we can't get anywhere. We allowed the partisans to come in. We allowed the attorneys to come in. We allowed the isms to come in. And that crosses the spectrum of isms, by the way. And there's a hell of a lot of isms these days that infect our country. So we need this. We need this. It's the only way that this country is going to return back, hopefully to the Constitution. Because again, our founders were very wise. You don't have to have some big constitutional law degree from Harvard University to be able to understand that document. Our forefathers wrote it for the layman. It was kept as plain and simple as it could be on purpose. Not so that lawyers could muddy it up every chance they get, but so that it was plain and simple for all to understand. You have to remember, back in our founders' days, most of the population didn't even know how to read or write. So they wanted to keep it simple, so everybody understood where their rights were, where they came from, what they consisted of. So yeah, I think, again, I'll say, I think this data that the media is reporting on is sound. I do think that they are getting it from places like monitoring our mobile devices. And if you've got any of the home devices like Google Home or Alexa or whatever, smart TVs, and anything that allows for voice input. My smartwatch that allows for a voice input, I'm sure it listens to me on a regular basis. Just the way it is. The nature of the beast. Literally, pun intended. Get ready, folks. Get ready. But I would also tell you to embrace it. Freedom isn't free. And we damn sure aren't entitled to it. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit on that, take it one step further. I think it's going further than just monitoring our smart devices. I think it's also monitoring our mindset, our frame of mind, our moods. I think it's very sound data. Anyway, let me get to some headlines. I have got a ton of those. Let's see. Starting out with Saturday after my sip of coffee. I'm gonna have a vape too on that. Alrighty. Arizona Border Patrol shoots Russian citizen, quote-unquote, suspected of crossing from Mexico into U.S. illegally. Let's see. Stop the massacre. Evo Morales appeals to Bolivian military as 5 killed in crackdown by interim government. By the way, the protest in Hong Kong over the weekend, brutal. Absolutely brutal. MiG-29K fighter aircraft crashes after engine catches fire during training mission in Goa. Arkansas Heisenberg, chemistry professor who praised Breaking Bad for scientific accuracy, arrested for cooking meth. Frizzled out rebels or agents of change. France's year of yellow vest protests. I guess it's kind of going back. It was the 1-year anniversary for the yellow vest protests in France, and Luke Wardowski was actually there. So, interesting stuff. Palestinian journalist loses an eye after being hit by Israeli rubber bullet at West Bank land seizure protest. Remember, when Geneva Convention Rules of War said that you couldn't shoot at the press? Whatever happened to those days? Italian police launch investigation after Inter Milan boss Antonio Conte receives bullet in the mail. Remind me to cry for him later. Tear gas and bonfires, scuffles with police as yellow vests block roads in Paris ahead of first anniversary of protests. And they got pretty brutal, too, over there in France. Or, not France. France. Paris. Whatever. That place, right? With the big tower. Bomb attack kills 18 in Syrian city of south of Turkish border. Iran-Iraq border crossing reportedly closed due to ongoing protest in both countries. Still on Saturday, by the way. Protesters in UK inflate giant breast in front of Facebook headquarters to protest nipple censorship. Hashtag free the nipple. I had to say it. Let's see. India should not be bullied on world stage. Iran's Foreign Minister Zarif calls on New Delhi to resist U.S. pressure. Water cannon deployed and cars flipped as tensions run high during Yellow Vest protests. I mean, it was insane. There was like all kinds of cars on fire and nuts. Let's see. 5 people, including children, killed in San Diego shooting, says police. Now, this was Saturday. We've had shootings like every day since Saturday. Most of them in California. Israel and NATO penetrate Russia's S-400 air defenses, quote-unquote, simulated by U.S. Patriots. Yeah. Let's see. Hong Kong protesters hurl petrol bombs at volunteers trying to clear roadblocks and shoot arrows at police. Foreign-backed... Oh, we're on Sunday. I didn't notice that. Sorry. Foreign-backed hooligans behind protest violence. Iran's Khamenei condemns sabotage, endorses fuel price hike. Saudi Aramco IPO, company valued at up to $1.71 trillion, may top Alibaba's 2014 record. Major U.S.-South Korea air exercise postponed, described by U.S. as an act of goodwill to Pyongyang. Let's see. Protesters set Hong Kong University on fire, pelt petrol bombs as riot police block campus. Military impunity system, ? Pentagon maintains great faith in U.S. justice after Trump pardons soldiers accused of war crimes. Okay, and from this morning. Pardon me. Let's see. U.S. Congress cracks down on ABC News for Epstein cover-up, demands to know who killed the story and why. I have a feeling this is just a dog and pony show, so I wouldn't get too excited. Gunman opens fire at backyard party in Fresno, California. 4 people killed. Stop flexing muscles. Beijing warns U.S. against intervening in South China Sea. Hong Kong rioters bombard ambulance truck with bricks and stones to free arrested protester. India paid advance for Russia's S-400 missiles, delivery to be complete in full. In 2025. 1 dead, at least 9 injured in Toulouse bridge collapse, says French authorities. Yikes. Russia's massive bridge construction project aims to end isolation of remote Siberian region. Man, I just want to keep yawning. I don't know why. Pakistan tests nuclear-capable Shaheen. I don't know if that's a 1 or an I. I think it's an I. Shaheen I ballistic missile days after India's Agni 2 launch. Pegasus returns, ? WhatsApp users on alert after Facebook warned of another vulnerability exploited by hackers. Moscow releases Ukrainian Navy boat seized during a violation of Russian territorial waters near Crimea in 2018. India considers relaxing regulations to attract global coal miners. There you go, anybody looking for a job. Water cannon used as Georgian riot police move in to disperse anti-government rally in Tbilisi. I'm sure I'm way off on that. Hong Kong police starts dispersing protesters outside university campus. All eyes on OPEC as another oil glut looms. Trump likes the idea of testifying in impeachment hoax to get Congress focused. Protesters rally outside Japan's first arms show amid fears of a return to World War II-era militarism. Several people shot at a Walmart in Duncan, Oklahoma. From my understanding from watching a live feed of somebody, I guess one of the witnesses, there were 4 people total that were involved. What I can say is that he saw a total of 4 people on the ground. He himself wasn't confirming whether they were all dead or not, but the shooter was among those people, and I do believe it is confirmed that the shooter is among the dead. As it says right there on your screen, it says at least 3 people have been shot and killed at a Walmart in Duncan. Except it says here a suspect is still on the loose. Let's see if it says anything more here. There's a little bit more here. At least 3 people have been shot and killed at a Walmart in Duncan, Oklahoma, according to police. The person who opened fire at the store is reportedly among the dead. The shooting took place at the parking lot outside the Walmart Supercenter on Highway 81, according to Duncan Police Chief Danny Ford, with the first calls coming into the police scanner around 9:54 local time. Local schools have been locked down as a precaution, and the store had been closed. Pardon me. Man, I don't know what's up with that. Though District Attorney Jason Hicks confirmed to local media that the scene was contained and no longer an active shooter situation. The gunman fired 9 rounds into a man and a woman sitting in a car before he was confronted by an armed citizen who turned the gun on himself. According to a witness who spoke to local station KOCO, a handgun was found at the scene. Family members of the deceased told local media that the shooting was related to a domestic dispute between a husband and wife. Now, I am going to see if I can find this video because there is something not right here. 9 rounds into a man and woman sitting in a car. That's 2 people, right? He was confronted by an armed citizen and turned the gun on himself. So that would be 3 bodies. Right? A total of 3 bodies. Well, an eyewitness testimony, well, if you want to call it a testimony, an eyewitness account at the scene says otherwise. Let me see. I'm believing it's going to be this video here. Give me a second to get it brought up here. Okay, this is going to be it. Let me get it brought over here. You should have audio on it. Maybe they don't have audio on yet. Could be. Give it just a second.
Aronhelton. Aronhelton.
And you're what? Are you from
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Aaron, what did you hear this morning?
We're going to go through this all over again.
Whatever you want to do. Whatever you'd like to do.
So,
Yeah, if you don't mind.
all I heard was 9 gunshots, and me and my girl was pulled over here in the parking lot, and we saw 3 bodies on the ground. And I went to jump out, but instead another guy had already jumped out and went over and had his gun drawn and put it up to the shooter's head and told him to stop. And there was 3 bodies on the ground besides the shooter. Now, whether they were shot or whether they're laying down, I don't know.
What did the shooter look like?
Brown hair, skinny, normal guy, I guess. I don't know. I mean...
Just a white guy? Normal white
yeah.
guy?
What were you thinking when you heard those gunshots?
Just a natural reaction. I mean, like, try to keep people out of harm's way. I was just trying to protect the people that were from him. It had nothing to do with him or anything else. If I could have tackled him and saved him, I would have. But another guy ran up there and he had a gun, and I'd like to know who the other guy was that had the gun. So, the shooter shot himself.
What was it like watching this scene unfold?
Man, I'm a combat vet. I've seen everything, so it was kind of just protective mode. I just wanted to save whoever was in the vicinity. So, the guy is not to blame either, but I could tell he was hurting. And he just needed some help. So,
Obviously a scary situation.
it was very scary.
Did he have a handgun?
Yeah, he had a pistol.
A pistol? And the guy who was armed, who put a gun up to his head, was that
He had a
handgun?
pistol.
Okay.
But he just stopped him. And the guy submitted right away. He just said, hey, I'm done.
He
So,
did.
I don't know if it was a crime of passion or I can't announce for the guy's problem, or whatever he was dealing with at the time. So,
What branch of service did you serve in?
Army.
So did you say there were 3 people shot, not including the gunman?
No, I saw 3 bodies on the ground, not including the gunman. But the gunman he turned his pistol and...
After the guy put a gun to his head?
Yeah, but whether they were just laying down just to protect themselves or not, I don't know.
So you saw him kill himself?
Yes. Well, I turned my head away. When he turned the gun, I turned my head away.
And about how many gunshots did you hear?
9.
All one after another?
Yeah, like repeated, like boom, 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 boom.
So are you saying that there's 4 bodies over here?
I believe so. Including the gunman. Now, whether they could have just been laying down, to protect themselves. I can't confirm whether they were protecting themselves or not,
About how long did this go on?
It happened within less than 3 minutes, or 2 minutes. I mean, it went down so fast. I mean, it could have been even less than that.
What time?
9:45.
Did you call 911 at all?
No, the cops were already on their way. They had already had the call.
Now, I do want you to pay attention to this part, especially. Sorry, I turned the volume up. I didn't mean to scream in your ear. Sorry.
I could hear the sirens because apparently they had a pre-warning. They were already hauling butt and everything. They were on their way here.
Are you a Duncan resident?
Yes, I am.
You guys ever seen anything like this here?
No, I mean, we've had murders in the past and stuff like that, but just common, you know, crimes of passion and stuff like that, you know, nothing like seriously major or nothing like that. No shootings, nothing like this. So.
Nothing that's public that's so...
No, nothing has ever happened like this.
Does that concern you at all, especially with what's going on nationwide?
No, we got a good community, and we got a lot of good people in our town. So I don't know the underlining of all this. This is just one of those things that just happened out of the blue. It ain't like a normal day thing, you know.
Can we get your name and spelling?
Aaronhelton.
And then can you say it for us just so we all get it right?
Aaron Helton.
Do you have anything else you want to add? Any other details you think?
Nah. I think our community is still very strong and great. I think that our people are good. I think this is like a coincidence, you know.
You think it was targeted? They didn't seem to turn it on anyone else, or?
I can't comment on that because I don't know what his intentions were.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. Thank you.
Alrighty, so I wanted to play that video clip for you because there was some differences there. He claims, and again, he first person witness to the situation. He claims that there were a total of 4 people on the ground. Why would I listen to this guy, right? Redneck sounded dude with chew in his mouth. Because he can tell you how many shots were fired, and he can tell you what time it was. Okay? He's a military combat vet. He's not your average witness. Okay? Not your average witness. Very interesting. 2 important, interesting things to note with this. 4 people were on the ground. Nothing about a 4th person at all being mentioned in the article. Another point of interest is that he didn't even have a chance to call the police because they were already on the way. Let that sink in. So anyway, let's continue on with some headlines. Like I said, I caught that and I wanted to, do what we do best, right? Russians donate 1 million euros, I guess that is, in less than 24 hours in a bid to save Venice as the city recovers from 3rd wave in a week. Let's see. Iran says decisive action will be taken if riots continue, warns U.S. against fueling tensions within the country. Concessions first, meeting later. North Korea says it will not gift another summit to Trump. Journalists and politicians from Morales' party threatened with sedition arrest as Bolivia purges socialist elements. U.S. now considers, and this headline is, oh my God, U.S. now considers Israeli settlements consistent with international law, says Pompeo. We'll see where that leads, right? I see a notification out here. Oh, yeah, well, I hear ya. Outrage erupts over Trump's administration's legalization of still illegal Israeli settlements in West Bank. So, not surprising. Like I said, we'll see where that goes. We'll see where that goes. Absolutely crazy. I'm sharing that out real quick. So anyway, that is the headlines for today and covering the weekend. So we'll go ahead and close up the monologue and go from there. Oh, before we do, thank you very much, Tony. Definitely. That definitely will help out. That covers half of the light. So here at the end of the month, when I get the light, there'll still be money left over that I will be able to get other stuff. Because the air filtration kit, I don't have to get like day one, but we still got to get soil and pots and fertilizers and all that good stuff that goes along with doing what we're doing. So. Thank you very much. We've still got a little bit of a ways to get there, but I'm excited. I am stoked. Anyway, thank you very much. Okay, we'll go ahead and close up the monologue. For those here for the live show, stick around. Don't go anywhere. We'll be live until 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. For those for those just here for the monologue, or for those watching the recording later on, thank you very much. As always, God bless you. We love you, and be one with your spirit.